What has gone so wrong for Keir Starmer? 6 in 10 Brits now say Labour is sleazy.
Is Keir Starmer losing control of his government just 50 days into his tenure? After a succession of contentious decisions and failed pledges, it seems that his supporters are turning against him.
He's leader of the opposition. Why aren't you opposing the government?
Ugly scenes at the heart of Westminster, as Sir Keir Starmer was confronted by a mob outside Parliament and subjected to a barrage of insults.
What went wrong so rapidly? And why are his ideas alienating even the most ardent Labour supporters? Stay tuned as we investigate how Starmer managed to screw his supporters and what this implies for his leadership in the future. We will now examine why Starmer's leadership is failing, how he's alienated crucial voters, and what this means for the upcoming election. One of the first serious blows to Starmer's reputation occurred during his trip to Northern Ireland. At a period when emotions over immigration were high, Starmer made a comment that sparked controversy. During a discussion, he called the local rallies against illegal immigration clearly racist. This broad charge did not sit well with many Northern Irish residents, prompting an instant response. The anarchy is unbearable. It cannot be justified. It is blatantly racist, and it does not reflect the contemporary, forward-thinking Northern Ireland that I know exists. Unsurprisingly, this statement needed to be warmly received. Northern Irish residents who had previously supported Starmer and his Labour Party were offended. People took to social media to accuse him of branding a whole town as racist for just voicing concerns about immigration policy.
And then third, and very importantly, to speak to some of the communities most impacted about the fear that they have, the anxiety that they have about the recent disorder.
Many saw this as an outright disregard of serious problems, and support for Starmer in Northern Ireland dwindled almost quickly. Before his statements, Northern Ireland was moving towards supporting a Labour administration after 14 years of Conservative control. However, this episode has now caused a tremendous schism. The slur was seen not just as a slip of the tongue, but also as evidence of Starmer's leadership's lack of understanding of ordinary Britain's issues. The Northern Ireland disaster was just one of numerous early failures. Labour's inability to deliver on major commitments within the first 50 days has enraged supporters throughout the United Kingdom. Starmer's leadership, which many anticipated would usher in a new period of growth, has so far been marred with disappointment. One of the most visible failures has been the abandonment of the contentious Rwanda policy, a Conservative proposal to deport asylum seekers to Rwanda that Starmer's administration intended to replace with a more humanitarian alternative. However, an alternative has yet to be presented, leading many to believe that he is all rhetoric and no action. Furthermore, the assault on free speech, notably the imprisonment of British people for remarks posted on social media sites like Facebook and X, previously Twitter, has alienated voters even further.
About attack on our freedoms currently being waged by Keir Starmer and this new Labour government, and the riots we've seen over recent weeks are the vehicle for their agenda. Brits are now being rounded up and arrested for things they've posted on social media in a chilling precedent that George Orwell would be proud of.
It is no secret that public opinion is changing quickly. According to a recent Ipsos survey, more than half of the British public feel the nation is moving in the wrong way under Starmer's leadership. The stats don't lie. 52% of those questioned believe Britain is headed in the wrong way, with just 22% feeling optimistic about the future. This view is mirrored not just in Starmer's popularity ratings, but also those of his key cabinet colleagues, such as Deputy Prime Minister Angela Rayner and Chancellor Rachel Reeves. Both have witnessed a drop in their favourability ratings, indicating that the whole Labour leadership may be in danger of losing public trust. For example, 36% of respondents had a negative impression of Rayner, whereas 35% had the same opinion of Reeves. Disillusionment extends beyond Northern Ireland. Across the United Kingdom, those who first cheered the collapse of the Conservative government are now second-guessing their decision. Many Labour supporters believe the party needs to live up to its promises of transformation. The lofty promises for a brighter future under Labour are fading, replaced by disillusionment and disappointment. The main complaint is that Starmer's administration fails to address the fundamental concerns confronting Britain. Whether it's the cost of living problem, the health of the National Health Service, or housing scarcity, Starmer's administration seems paralysed and unable to produce significant remedies. In fact, some opponents accuse Starmer of focusing too much on foreign matters and disregarding the very real local difficulties that millions of Britons face on a daily basis. Starmer faces more than just public displeasure. There is significant dissatisfaction among his party. Many of his fellow MPs are discreetly questioning his leadership choices. Some believe that Starmer's incapacity to deal with criticism, as well as his inclination to alienate particular voting blocs, may lead to a drop in popularity, similar to what past Labour leaders have experienced. While Starmer was successful in dethroning the Conservatives, keeping his party unified and focused on delivering on their pledges has proven to be a far more challenging challenge. It's difficult to disregard the cold, clear facts. According to an Ipsos survey, Starmer's popularity has dropped significantly. Public opinion of him and his administration is deteriorating with each passing week.
Have been furious with Labour over ministerial freebies and the cut to winter fuel support for pensioners. Nearly 2/3 of voters are dissatisfied with the way Starmer is running the country. All this comes within less than 100 days of Labour being in government.
Angela Rayner, who was formerly seen as a prospective successor, has seen her favourability slip to 33%, with 36% seeing her negatively. Chancellor Rachel Reeves is in a similar situation, with 35% of the people expressing negative attitudes towards her. These dropping numbers reflect a larger dissatisfaction with Labour's leadership, prompting many to wonder, if Starmer fails to turn things around quickly, will the party suffer another heavy loss in the next election? Another important problem that has caused public discontent is the government's tightening grip on free expression. British citizens are being detained and even imprisoned for making remarks on social media, raising major worries about the loss of civil rights under Starmer's leadership. This harsh attitude has sparked significant condemnation, with many accusing Starmer of violating the fundamental ideals of free speech that his party previously stood for. Many Labour supporters have found it difficult to accept this trend towards authoritarianism, since they had hoped that Starmer would bring beneficial change rather than restrict their liberties. After just 50 days in office, Keir Starmer's administration is clearly in severe peril. The fallout from his Northern Ireland remarks, failed pledges, and bad management of crucial domestic problems has put his presidency on unstable footing. The public's opinion is evolving, and unless he can immediately alter course, he risks losing even more votes. What can Starmer do to recover the British people's confidence? It will need more than bluster and promises. Starmer will have to take immediate action on critical problems such as the cost of living, healthcare, and housing. He'll also need to demonstrate that he appreciates regular Britain's worries rather than rejecting them as racist or out of touch. If he fails to do so, his tenure as Prime Minister may be shorter than projected. What are your thoughts on Keir Starmer's leadership thus far? Has he ruined his support beyond repair, or can he turn things around? Please share your ideas in the comments below.